Are you ready to hear a story? In some ways, the story that we're going to tell today is like a parable, a story that wise people told us a long time ago to teach us something big and mysterious. This is the story of the Incarnation, which is a big word about how God became a baby named Jesus. This is also the story of Christmas, a story which is full of mystery. Some of our friends at St. Andrew's are going to help us tell this story. We're going to tell the whole story of Christmas. Parts of the Christmas story are not told very often, but it's important to tell the whole story, even the sad parts. So, take a moment and get ready for the story of the mystery of Christmas. When you are ready for the story is ready for you.
Look, do you see what is happening to the Mother Mary? This is the Annunciation. Annunciation is a big word that means something is being announced or told. The angel Gabriel is announcing to Mary that God has chosen her to be the Mother of God. Do you see Mary? The angel? Mary was scared but happy. She was stunned but blessed.
Mary was a lucky girl because she had an older friend to talk to. It was Elizabeth. This part of the story is called the Visitation because Mary went to visit her cousin Elizabeth. Elizabeth was much older, maybe even old enough to be Mary's mother. When Mary came close to Elizabeth and greeted her, something wonderful happened. Elizabeth felt the baby inside her move when he heard Mary's voice. She said something like this: "Blessed are you among women, and blessed is the baby you are going to have. When you spoke, the baby within me jumped. Something wonderful is going to happen with your baby and with mine too." When Elizabeth said that, Mary began to sing a song people call the Magnificat, because it begins, "My soul magnifies the Holy One." It was a song about her hope for the holy baby, a song about her hope for a changed world.
When it was time, Mary's baby was born. That's why this is called the Nativity, which means the birth. See how Mother Mary is resting? She is awake and happy. The baby is wrapped in strips of cloth. These strips are the swaddling clothes you sometimes hear about in the story. Look, there are working people visiting them. They are shepherds who were working in nearby fields. The shepherds came because of mysterious singing they heard in the winter sky. It was a song about a child who would bring peace, a song of a child who would change everything. It was a song that inspired the working people to journey to Bethlehem to find the baby Jesus.
This is a part of the story that is often left out. It is called the Presentation. After a time, Mary and Joseph took their new little baby to the temple in Jerusalem. It was the custom to present a new baby there to celebrate its name and to dedicate the baby to God. When Mary and Joseph took the baby into the temple to be dedicated to God, an old man named Simon came up and looked at the baby. He took the baby in his arms and said, "Now I can die in peace." What was he talking about? When Simon was younger, God told him that he would not die before seeing the Holy One who was coming and would change everything. That day, Simon knew Jesus was the one he had been waiting for. Then old Anna came up and looked at the baby. She loved to be in the temple as much as she could. She also saw that this was the Holy One, so she gave thanks to God and told everyone in the temple what had happened. Simon is holding the baby. Mary is still touching the baby too. Joseph is bringing 2 birds to the temple. That was the custom in those days. And there's Anna, so happy to be seeing the baby.
The wise ones finally arrived. They were late. Every year they are late. They were so wise and clever that many people thought they were magic. They were called the Magi. That's where our word magic comes from. They pondered many deep mysteries. They followed a wild star. It aroused their curiosity for knowledge and wisdom. Their questioning and searching led them to the child who contained the deep secrets of the universe. This part of the story is called the adoration of the Magi because they are adoring the baby. That means they are just standing there and looking at the baby and enjoying him.
This is a part of the story that is often left out too. It is no wonder people do not tell this part. It is too sad. It is called the Massacre of the Innocents. The wise ones followed the star to the land where Jesus was born. They thought it might lead them to a baby king. When they came into the land, they went to see the king, King Herod, in Jerusalem. When King Herod heard them say that they were looking for a baby king, he was very interested. He did not want that baby to grow up. Herod wanted to be the only king in the land. "Come and tell me when you find this king," he told the Magi. "I want to come and worship him." Herod was not telling the truth. He wanted to kill the new little king. When the wise ones found Jesus, he wasn't a king in the way they expected. They did not tell Herod what they found. They went home by another way. They really were wise. But Herod did not forget. He asked his scholars to look in the scriptures and find where it said the king would be born. They told Herod that place would be Bethlehem. Herod sent his soldiers there, and they killed every baby boy they could find who was 2 years old or younger. It was a terrible thing. The grown-ups were very sad. This part of the story is so sad and so terrible that we don't even have a picture for it.
Herod the king in his raging charged he hath this day.
I guess the story is over then, isn't it? No, the baby Jesus did not die in Bethlehem. Joseph had a dream before the soldiers arrived. In his dream, an angel told Joseph to take his little family to another country. They fled far away to the land of Egypt. Mary and the baby rode on the donkey, and Joseph led the way. This is called the flight into Egypt, not because Mary and Joseph and Jesus flew like birds or airplanes, but because they were fleeing. To flee means to run away to safety. Mary and Joseph and Jesus found safety in another country, just like many people today come to our country in search of safety.
Mary and Joseph loved the baby Jesus. Soon, the baby Jesus grew into the little boy Jesus. He grew up loving and wise. Even as a little boy, Jesus was able to enter into the deep mysteries of God's love and help other people into them too. Even grown-ups would ask Jesus questions. They were amazed at the answers he had. Even Jesus' teachers learned from him. And eventually, the little boy Jesus grew into the man Jesus. He grew up to be a man who said many wonderful things and did many wonderful things and helped everyone he met feel loved by God. That is a very special story, but it is a story for another time. Mary and Joseph and Jesus and all the people in our story lived a long, long time ago in a land called Israel. The way they dressed, the way they built their houses and other buildings, the food they ate, it was all very different from the way we live now. They likely had dark skin, like many of the people who live in the area that we now call the Middle East. The Christmas story is about the mystery of the Incarnation, the mystery of God becoming human. Part of the mystery of the Incarnation is that it's not just about a little baby in a faraway land a long time ago. It's about all of us. Whenever we live with the kind of peace and kindness and love that Jesus showed, we are part of the mystery of the Incarnation. The Incarnation is about people who are white, and people who are black, and people of every skin color, people who are boys and girls and beyond, people who live in this country and people who live far away. The art in our story is from a country called Cameroon on the continent of Africa. In Cameroon, there are a people called the Mafa. Our art was made when a group of Mafa people imagined what Bible stories might look like if they took place in a traditional Mafa village. These images remind us that the story of Christmas isn't just for us, not just for you or me. The love and kindness and peace and joy that the baby Jesus represents is good news for all people.